watching this spiritual message, and she was talking about basically that there's spiritual reasons behind having curly hair, straight hair, blah 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 blah, right? And I wanted to take it a step further. I was like, okay, so is there a reason for having hair that cannot grow? You know, is there a reason for like bald patches in men, bald patches in women? I had told you guys in the last video that when men don't do right, God will take their hair, but it's the same in women. When you have when say you are a girl or you are a woman and you're experiencing bald patches, thinning of the hair, like essentially, like I said with guys, God is taking your hair because your identity is not rooted in him, who you are, and your choices are not rooted in him. And so a lot of times, like even when I be watching Now That's TV, like, and you pull a girl's wig off, those bald spots are like horrendous. And the reason why is because they are neglecting self, and they are neglecting their spiritual wealth. Okay, that means that when you get your hair taken and you got bald patches like that, that means that God wants to connect with you. If you know anyone who you see has bald patches, that even if they're talking godly talk, that it must be fake, because God is essentially letting them know that their choice, like essentially, because what I'm really saying is when you rock with God, you know, and when you really rock with him and your conversations every day are rooted in God, if you even start to notice a little bit of hair, he's going to inform you through a dream, a vision, or just information mentally to look up this, that. Some information is going to come to you to get rid of that. He's already on it. But if you are lacking that conversation, that bald patch just gets bigger and bigger. And then after a while, you got 3 of them. Okay. But it says, from a spiritual perspective, bald patches in women are often linked to emotional and psychological distress, a lack of self-worth, or a disconnection from one's inner strength or spiritual self. Spiritual and metaphysical interpretations of hair loss suggest it may be a physical manifestation of deeper internal struggles. Okay, and that is emotional trauma and stress. So you know, it's like, it's still, you got to give that to God. Loss of power and identity, okay? And that could be wearing wigs, wearing hair extensions. You're losing that power and self, you know? And then the choices to continuously wear certain things over your hair, knowing it's damaging your actual self, right? But it's also, you guys can look that up if that is something you know someone struggles with or whatever. And then if your hair does not grow, if you're dealing with hair that stays a certain length, let's look that up because I actually forgot. Well, essentially it just is saying like you're holding, if your hair doesn't grow, you're holding on to old past situations. It's like you have to go to God to let that stuff go in order for your hair to grow. And like, to me, I believe that because I know there's a couple of people in my life whose hair just does not grow past their shoulders. For the love of anything, it's not gonna grow past here. And I do believe it's because they're choosing to hold on to really bad, painful experiences. You know what I mean? They're choosing to hold on to the negative and look at the negative. And so in that, and where they're thinking, their brain, right, why would y'all choose to think negative and your hair is right there? You know what I mean? Like I would, if I wanted my hair to grow long and healthy and thick, I would not be thinking negative. I would not be holding on to toxic situations. I would not even be toxic if I really wanted this thing to go a different way. And I noticed my hair started growing when I started telling myself, I love myself, I love my hair. Hair, you are safe to grow, you are safe. Like, and especially if it hasn't been growing, you have to love your body differently, and you do have to talk to your hair differently. You do. You gotta talk to your hair. Hair, I love you. I'm so sorry I was brushing it, acting like you were nothing. You are safe to grow. And my hair started growing. I was like, it actually kind of shocked me, and I don't know if it's from the self-love or obviously connecting more with my father, but it started doing its thing. You guys got to be way more loving. And some of y'all not loving because it's not the hair you see on Instagram, and so you just Wow, you guys, I would look up wanting to shave your head. Like if you've had a thought to shave your head, it's like basically it's humility and devotion to oneself. Focus on inner experience by removing distractions such as hair, mourning, penance, purification, and renewal. So it's actually really interesting. But anyways, one I wanted to talk about though is, you know, because hair is a big thing and it's tied to our identities, right? So if you have curly hair, it says that you understand life's flows and you're connected to God and you just understand this chaos, but because you are wild and untamable yourself. But then if you straighten your curly hair, or if you just have straight hair, it is we'll focus on curly straightening hairs, okay? So if you have curly hair and you straighten it, basically you're focusing on clarity. You want regulation. You want simplicity. You know, it's like you know, wanting to be organized, wanting to understand deeper. And it's not as because when I googled it, I thought I would see like something a little more mean for like, you're pretending, bitch, wear your curly hair. But I didn't see that. It just said you like things to be a little bit more organized. You want to have clarity, and I like that. But also, if you have short hair and have always had short hair and it cannot grow, there's a spiritual reason for that, bitches, and it's because God wants you to be in the forefront. He wants nothing to be a distraction. He wants nothing to be a hindrance for you going out there and either delivering a message, living in your purpose, living in your truth. Yes, you can wear fake hair, but God ultimately has given every baby their own personal message, and it's not just hair. Even nail growth. Look up if your nails grow long. Look up if you can't even grow nails. I would look up everything. Spiritual meanings behind your moles. Spiritual meanings behind wanting to get moles in certain areas. Like everything has a spiritual significance. But if you don't like adding that spiritual significance, it doesn't have to have a meaning at all. You could just go do what you do. But I would also look up dyeing your hair. If you have a dyeing your hair issue, or you're constantly dyeing your hair, I would look up the spiritual reason behind that. What it said is just kind of like, essentially you're going through mourning, you're transforming innerly, but it's also tied to not completely understanding yourself yet. Like, and this isn't if you've dyed your hair blonde and you keep doing blonde and you're just getting better in that blonde. No, then maybe you understand yourself very well. This, I think, was tied to people who are dyeing their hair red, then blonde. Then, like, they just don't know what hair color suits them. That's what this is for. And it's just tied to wanting to understand yourself better, but finding yourself, you know? So when you see people get a whole, like, always dyeing their hair, they just like, yeah, I didn't like that, I wanted it. It's obvious to us, they're finding themselves, but it's really an inner thing. They're really trying to find what suits them, and it goes beyond hair, right? God is messing with your hair. You don't have long hair, your hair doesn't grow. That is all an invitation to look inward and talk to God. God, it's like almost like God isn't allowing you to participate in vanity because he wants you to go to him. You know what I mean? Like, he will add, like, what is that? When you seek him and then everything else will be added onto you. So there's a lot of people who got bald patches and insecure about their hair and still have yet to go to God about that issue. And so they're fighting this issue by themselves. There's a lot of women fighting insecurity about their hair, about who they are, and to the world by themselves because they have yet to go to God. And this is the perfect time to do that, because God will be like, okay, focus on this, growing yourself spiritually, and then that hair and whatever will be added onto you. I will get you the finest hair. People won't even know where you got it from. Until then, good luck with Amazon. good luck with your little hair stores. You know what I mean? Like God, until you seek him, he is like, good luck with the enemy and his devices. And his devices, the devil's devices, when it comes to hair, oh, he's gonna have you running through bundles. He's gonna have you running through wigs. He's gonna have you spending every last drop dollar for some damn hair. Believe it. Believe it. If you someone switching, and you getting the same fucking inch, the same color every time, oh, the devil's running your pockets and he's running how you see yourself. When you get with God, he's going to give you the money for that finest hair. He's going to have you shaking and you're going to be like, yes, bitch, Babiana. Like, it's going to be shaking. It's going to do a thing. It's going to be flippy and awesome. God ain't playing with his children if you don't play with him. And it does start with vanity, and it does start with your hair. And so I wanted to make a video about this because, like, I believe a lot of women's insecurity or security begins with hair. You know what I mean? So if God or the devil messed with your hair at all, it's because he really wanted you to search him. If you cool with your hair now, but you knew there was a moment you wasn't cool, it's because God had to get your attention. So to me, when women talk about hair, I wouldn't talk about hair insecurities with people because I know that this is a me and God thing. But until people find God, they're constantly going to be around you like, my hair, my hair, my hair, my hair, my makeup, my style, my style, my style, okay? So I really don't, like, that's why, like I said in the last video, when the girl was like, am I pretty? When Shorty came to my house and was like, am I pretty? That is a you and God conversation. Are you pretty or not? Is your hair strong or not? Is it thinning? That is a you and God conversation because apparently he's trying to get you's attention. Ooh, you's in trouble. Quick message that you can be that girl. Anyone can be that girl. You can feel like that girl. But if God is messing with your hair, talk to him. Look up spiritual reasons behind everything. If you got a sickness, spiritual reasons behind the sickness. You know what I mean? I would. And then go to God about everything. Everything. You know what I mean? Why you keep waking up at 3? God wants your attention. You know what I mean? Type thing. So things are going to keep happening until you connect and it's real. Okay? He's not going to I understand that we're at a time where God is calling his children and the ones who really seek him to the forefront. And so if you faking that, get to the back. Becky with your bad hair. I want my children up front. They up next. So Becky's with the bad hair. You know what I mean? They're still going to wonder why they got bad hair. Well, I mean, you, with our good hair and knowing what's up, is thriving. So spiritual reasons behind even a pixie cut, look it up. But from my knowledge, if you got short hair, God is calling you to the forefront. Divine protection, divine awesomeness. He wants you, like, to be bold. Bitch. But if you just have a problem with shorter hair, bitch, God is calling you to focus on other things. Even if you put a weave on or a wig, if you know you got short hair, and that means the message, that even means the issues must be fucking serious. You must have, your childhood, you must have grew up from something fucking serious. And that means you got a voice. But if you are all about self, oh, I got this, and you're not understanding the strength behind the reason why God gave you that, we're missing out on a message. I know there's someone out there who resonates, you know. Yeah, I opened up the book of Ecclesiastes last night, and it's like as soon as you open it, Jesus and God are shouting vanity at you. Vanity, vanity. And it's like, and he's like, ain't nothing new under the sun. Too many people are going to be like, oh my gosh, I must be the original. But what the Bible said, there is nothing new under the sun. What I say to you guys, it's not like, oh, I'm saying something new and I get to talk to you guys about it and you guys get to learn it. No, it is either hidden knowledge that you have to come back to, And that's why it resonates, or it's just garbage. Do you know what I mean? All information is just hidden until it's uncovered and you're like, oh, that makes sense because it's ancient. It resonates deep. It's for you. The rest, you just one ear and out the other. Stuff be resonating. But yeah, people gonna be about vanity. Well, you get with spirituality, you're gonna be feeling way more prettier, cooler, awesome. Then you keep working with the devil. That's why I feel bad for people when they got bald spots and they still working with the devil, because he's like, yeah, use this glue that pulled out your edges, and then you gonna look to him and be like, okay, devil, now what? I want to feel pretty. And he gonna be like, well, bitch, apply the same glue around your head and wear that wig. And he's just laughing at you, plucking each of your little hair follicles out at a time, laughing at you. Because he knows that you still have yet to check in with God about this situation in order to make you feel pretty and powerful, even with bald spots, even with thinning hair, even with short hair. You still have yet to check in with him about it. You still have yet to understand why it's even going on. You're battling it yourself. You're depressed about your hair and you're doing it yourself. And there's a spiritual reason behind all of it. But I know the devil, he can't wait to cut your shit off. He can't wait to fry your shit. He can't wait for you to be uneducated about your hair. He can't wait for the bald spots. He can't wait for the hair thinning. He cannot wait for you to dye it. He cannot wait for you to, he wants you to misunderstand yourself and God. And so if you are insecure about hair, that is a clear indication you have yet, in my understanding, to check in. So yes, I wanted to make a quick video about hair because it's a big topic and a lot of people will use it to make you insecure, to make it feel like a race is above another race, to do a fucking thing. And none of it's true. Understand your spiritual reasons, why you were called to a certain curly hair texture, curlier hair texture, or a straighter one, or a wavy. It's up to you to understand that. And then why on earth would God, if he knows you got to be confident amongst people, would he take your hair? And it's because he wants you to know it's not about what Ecclesiastes say. It's not about vanity. It's time to be more spiritual and talk to God. Okay? So, I love you guys. Let's get more in tune. God's gonna hook you up with the nicest, finest hair. You gonna be the shit. You just gotta get with the shits. God ain't blessing the demon's child, and especially if you out here pulling out your hair and yet have yet to talk to him. Right? So, spiritual reason behind perming. It's time to know all of it. But anyways, love you guys. You keep me young.